We have 5 of the most popular jump starters on Amazon that you can get. We have a wide range of prices. We have very similar specs and capabilities. So we're gonna go over each one so that you have as much confidence as possible at figuring out which one's best for your budget and needs for your jump starting emergency situations. The NOCO device is $350. The AvaPow, however you say this one, is $119. The Wolfbox device is $139. And remember, sales go up and down. Sometimes it's cheaper on their website, sometimes it's cheaper on Amazon. I'll have all the links in the description and you can check both and figure it out. The Buter device right here is $79.99. The Gillaway device is $53.99. Much cheaper than most of these others. The first category you need to understand that a lot of these companies advertise is the amps, the peak current, the peak output power it can put out to start a battery. This device right here, the Buter, is 5,000 amps. This would be best for dead batteries. It puts out the most power at one time. The second best is the NOCO. It's 4,250 amps. And then the Gillaway, Wolfbox, and AvaPow are all 4,000 amps. I want to pair that with compatibility for engine sizes because any of these are going to jumpstart most vehicles that any normal person would own. These 3 in the middle, the AvaPow, Wolfbox, and Buter, are all 10 liter on diesel and gas engines. Most 4-cylinder cars are a 2-liter, most 6-cylinder cars are a 3-liter, most V8s are anywhere between a 5 and a 7-liter. Big diesel engines can be 7 to 10. So you're talking huge trucks, small vehicles. These 3 can cover them all. The Gillaway and the NOCO, the only difference is on the diesel side, it only advertises on their product descriptions for 8-liter size diesel engines. I wouldn't stress about that, to be honest, with my car knowledge of working on cars for the last 10 years. All of these are gonna start most applicable cars and trucks, big or small. One of the most important features to keep top of mind is how big are the batteries in each of these, because even though the device is bigger, it actually might have a smaller battery capacity, which is really interesting. This actually has the smallest battery capacity, and this is the biggest device. Battery capacity is measured in milliamps, so think about it like a gas tank. Some have bigger gas tanks, some have smaller. The NOCO has a 6,750 milliamp battery, while on the opposite side of the spectrum, the AvaPow has a 27,800 milliamp battery. Way bigger capacity. The Gillaway on the cheap side has a 4,000 milliamp battery. The Buter device has a 23,800 milliamp battery. The Wolfbox device has a 24,000 milliamp battery. So that part really confuses me when it comes to pricing and what you get for the money and how drastically different some of the battery sizes are, even when this is the most expensive and it has the smallest battery capacity. So let's keep going through some details to understand which one might be the best value, because that really was alarming to me. Knowing the capacity of each battery will give you an idea of generally how many times you can jumpstart a car before the battery in these dies itself and it needs to be recharged, which leads us to our next little comparison, is how long does it take these devices to recharge? There's only 2 of these I could find in the product description that had recharge times. So for the NOCO device, it said the recharge from 0 is 2.7 hours, and the Wolfbox device is 1.3 hours. That's a really quick charge for how big that battery is. And 2.7 hours to recharge the smallest battery? I'm not sure how I feel about this. Everything that's included is on the table, so let's go from cheapest to most expensive. So it comes with a little charging cable, USB-C. It comes with the clamps. These quality-wise feel fine, straightforward, not the nicest thing. It does have these buttons on the side, power on, you have the light, hold it to turn it on. If you click it, it'll strobe for a safety light. A little bit slower of a strobe, and then it will go off. And then this display is pretty faint. It kind of aligns with the price point in my opinion. It says 94% right there, and then it will light up and give you some stats once you hook it up to a battery. For this device, we hold the power button right here. It shows a 78% right away. It only has 1 button, so if I hold the power button, I'm assuming the light will come on. Click it again, it'll strobe for safety. Has even an amber light, which is cool, flashing white, and then it goes off. Straightforward. This one does come with a plug-in for a cigarette lighter. So if you had like an air compressor you needed to power something, you could plug it into this. It also comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable. The clamps, I like these a little bit better than the previous. Pretty solid, nothing fancy. When you come over to the Wolfbox device, you've got a lot smaller display, which is cool, less real estate to get scratched. We're gonna hold the power button down, 74%. You've got a boost button if you need it. Once the device is on, all you gotta do is tap the power button and you have a light. And then you have a strobe for safety, a different strobe, and then it goes off. Then you have the boost button, which you can figure out depending on your voltage when you plug it into the car. And then these clamps are way bigger. The springs are way stronger. You could get a good connection with this. These are the best ones so far as quality. And then the Wolf box does charge really fast. It has almost like an Apple characteristic type charger with a USB-C to USB-C. So I really like this. They all come with these comparable cases. These are all even so far. The AvaPow device, you can click the power button and it will display what your battery level is. You plug in the cables and it has a light on here and it'll give you some stats. And these are huge. These are really heavy duty. You've got a lot of copper area to work with to clamp onto different types of batteries. These are probably the biggest, bulkiest, and I'd say the most heavy duty so far. It comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable. It also comes with an adapter to run a cigarette lighter plug. So if you needed to supply power to something else in a car, you could also use this device. And it comes with a little bit thicker of a case than the others because the device is a little bit bigger, but the battery on this thing is huge. So that's the reason why it's kind of a little bit chunkier. When you hold the power button down, it'll kick the light on right here and you've got a solid light, flashing slow, flashing fast, and that's the end of it. This is probably the weakest light of the lineup. When we come over to the most expensive option, we've got the biggest device, and it's as big as my head, even bigger. It's very, very heavy. It does have, which I feel like a lot of industrial application people would like. Not only are these like really gnarly springs, the cable is really big and it has a place for these to clamp on the side of the device. So from an organization standpoint, these are really nice. And then you're gonna hold the power button, click it once, it turns on, it tells you the level, and then there's a button for the light and it'll come on, dimmer, flashing, a couple different options, fast flashing, back and forth, and that's the end of it. You've got a override option, so if you need a little bit of power like that boost setting, you can. What's included with this device is a cigarette lighter charger with a male USB-C to charge this in the car. Then you also have a USB-A to USB-C if you were to plug it in your house or whatever into any basic charger. And it does come with this bag instead of a case, which you may or may not like more, I'm not sure. The last thing to consider is what options does it have as far as ports for other things. So let's start from cheapest to most expensive. Let's look at the device. You've got two USB-A's, but then you have an input for USB-C. So this is only for charging. The two USB-A's you could plug in and charge a device the old school way, since USB-C is new school. Coming over here to the Buter product, we look inside this little flap. This one's covered, got a USB-C and two USB-A's, same setup. Looks like this could go either way, charging the device or charging something else with USB-C. When we come over to the Wolf box, we're gonna see a little flap right here, keep the weather out. We have a USB-A and USB-C. Those go both ways, and it tells you your max power right here and what volts those charge at. USB-C is 5 volts to 20 volts. The USB-A is 5 volts, 9 volts, and 12 volts. Everything you need. The AvaPow, it looks like it has this flap on the side. You've got two USB-A's and a USB-C. The Type-C is noted that it's only in. So the USB-C is for charging. The two USB-A's are for charging devices. But if you wanted to use the USB-C, it's only to charge the actual device here. For our biggest device, we've got USB out, USB in / out. So on one side we've got a USB-C, and then on this one we've got two USB-A's. All of these devices have output charging for USB-A devices. Now we have a USB-C and some of them do both, and I want to show you one by one. So I have my phone, USB-C to USB-C, 2024, almost 2025. If I plug in USB-C, it's saying there's power coming in. It does not charge my phone. If I head over to the Buter one, plug it in, same thing. It says there's power coming in. My phone is not charging. We head over to the Wolf box one, which this is the one I personally carry in my car. Pull open the tab. This is the first one that will charge my phone. 79%, green, it's increasing. And it says out. It has power going out on the USB-C. So that is a nice little feature. USB-A or USB-C in and out. We head over to the AvaPow, pop this open, plug it in. It's showing something moving right here, and no charging, only in for the USB-C. We head over to the NOCO, USB in and out, plug it in, power it on, and it's charging. Only the NOCO and the Wolf box, the charging goes both ways for USB-C, which I feel like when you're in an emergency situation, you never know what you're gonna need. You have all the information you need to make the best decision possible. Let's go over what my top of mind thoughts are with each one. This one is super cheap. It probably works, it feels cheap, it functions, it just works. So if you want the absolute cheapest option, I think you'll be fine. The Buter one, it seems like this middle ground. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. It doesn't feel cheap, but it doesn't feel nice. So this one's just kind of that middle whatever. When it comes to the Wolfbox one, the most solid weight to size ratio, it's definitely heavy for what it is. You can tell they packed a lot in here. I personally carry this one in my car because it charges really quick. It has a huge battery capacity. It just functions. The power goes in and out. It's the most simple option in my opinion that just does everything well. So that's why I like it. Then you have the Ava POW, which it's kind of a cool, robust look. It kind of looks like it would be in like a Call of Duty map or something you'd pick up as far as shape. The quality of the buttons is whatever, the light is whatever, but this having the biggest battery capacity is pretty interesting. So if you want the most jumps, then probably that might be a good option. This one blows my mind that people would even buy it. The lowest battery capacity, yeah, it has places to clamp your stuff. It's the most rugged looking one, but to have a soft case and it's this big, I don't see why anyone would buy this in my opinion, but maybe it's for you. Maybe there's some little feature you like. So I want to invite you to leave a comment. Which one did you buy and why, to help other people out there pick the best one for them? And if you want to see me review a Wolfbox dash cam that's actually a rear view mirror, it's pretty cool. We'll leave that video right here. You can go check it out. It's a pretty cool piece of technology.